Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Field Podcast, episode 105. It is Wrestlemania week, baby.
Woo! That's right.
Yes, I'm so excited. I brought the title down. It is going with me to Vegas. Cap is riding with me to Vegas.
That's right.
I cannot wait. How are you feeling?
I'm excited. This is literally WrestleMania week.
Wrestlemania week.
That's right. So much to watch. So much to look forward to. And I'm pretty excited.
Me too.
Second WrestleMania.
Yep.
And we gone to WrestleMania 39 in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium. And now,
This one right here.
that's right.
We both got WWE gear on today. I got my I Was Here WrestleMania 39 shirt, which looks like, I'm not even kidding, the last wash finally got it to fade.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, but yeah.
Literally, the last time I wore it it didn't look like this. So, literally, the previous wash finally faded this shirt after 2 years. And then you...
I got my Penta Cero Miedo. I got my Penta shirt on. I got here about last week or 2 weeks ago. And
Nice.
I obviously, these last couple podcast episodes that we've been filming, I've been wearing my wrestling shirts. You
Yeah,
know?
if you've been paying attention.
That's right. You YouTube viewers, podcasters.
Do we
head
still
over.
have your attention right now? If we do, please subscribe to the channel.
That's right.
We are trying to get to 7,000 subscribers here.
7K.
On Off the Field Podcast. And, of course, we got the Instagram of Off the Field Podcast, which is otf.podcast. We update you with the episodes when they come out, some reels every now and again. Obviously, I'm very focused over on my main channel, but, you know, I do my best to get the work for the podcast as well. And we are going to be talking a lot about wrestling in WWE and WrestleMania today.
That we are.
It is going to be a majority of the podcast for a heads up, everyone listening. But we will talk about some baseball news before we fully dive into the deep end of WrestleMania. So, let's get started with that. We got WBC news. WBC 2023 was won by Japan. They took on USA. I was there. It was an epic game. And we are having it return in 2026. And Team USA has named its captain.
That's right. Mark DeRosa gave a phone call to Mike Trout just before saying, hey, man, I want to give this guy the reins. And what did Mike Trout say?
He said he's the one.
He's the one. Aaron Judge from the Yankees is the new Team USA captain.
The captain is now the captain of Team
That's
USA.
right.
He's already the captain of the Yankees. That was made official like 2 years ago or something like that.
I think it was just after his contract extension, or I guess the contract.
Yeah, to prove the loyalty.
Exactly.
And they named him captain for it, and he'll get the honors for the WBC team. And who's somebody you want to see on Team USA?
So I'm guessing you're asking me someone who hasn't played for Team USA?
It could be somebody returning. Like, I want to see Trout return. And I assume he is, considering Trout was like, he's the one this time instead of me. And I think Trout will take like a
The pressure
vice
will
captain
decompress.
role.
Yeah. The pressure will decompress from him because,
Yeah.
you know, he's the captain. So people are always expecting him to, like,
God, sorry. It's just John Cena hitting me up during the podcast. So rude of him. I'll tell him to text me later. Anyways.
tell
ahead.
him that was very rude. Tell him to wait.
Yeah, I will.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anyway, yes, Aaron Judge is the captain. Most likely, Trout would be right under him, so kind of like the second in command.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I want to see Bobby Witt start.
He should have been on it the first time.
He was.
Oh, what role in shortstop?
He was a bench player.
I know, but we had a few shortstops.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he did play. For example,
Was he the backup or the backup?
he was just on the team.
Well,
But he did play. I think I forgot what number he had.
who was the shortstop for
2023?
2023?
I know Tim Anderson moved to second, played some short.
It was somebody baller.
Yeah.
I don't remember who it was.
Mookie was the outfielder. I think.
No, but they used Mookie at short, didn't they?
Maybe
I
at
don't
second
remember.
because McNeil also played second for a little bit. McNeil was the primary second baseman, if I remember.
I do remember Witt there because I remember he got a pinch hit at bat when we were there, and you were losing your mind.
That's right. Who was it?
I don't know.
Now I'm kind of
I'm trying to think like Gunner, but Gunner wasn't on the team, right?
Gunner. No, he was not on the team. I think that was his
That'd be
rookie
somebody
year.
good to have, Gunner, on the next USA squad. I don't know. I'm blanking right now.
Trey Turner.
Trey Turner. How do we forget that?
Yeah.
He had some of the biggest home runs
Yeah,
of that WBC.
Yeah, the semifinals. I think.
I'm sorry,
Was it
Trey.
against Cuba?
Venezuela.
Venezuela.
Yes.
Where he had that. Was it a grand slam or?
It was a big home run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was Trey Turner, but like I said, I'm kind of hoping Bobby Witt does get some starting time because he's definitely proved it for sure. And he did play when we were over there in Arizona. He had a nice double against Mexico, which obviously wasn't enough. But yeah, that's someone who I definitely want to see return and start, just like, for Jaron Duran from Mexico. Same thing.
I got one. He wasn't on the team, and we need him on the team this time. Paul Skeens.
Ooh.
The one thing about Team USA in 2023, the pitching was not it.
Yeah.
A lot of pitchers didn't want to sign up for it. They didn't want to hurt their arms for the actual MLB season. They saw it as a risk. And we really need some guys to step up if we're going to win. Because compared to what Japan had with Roki Sasaki, Yamamoto, Otani, it was tough competition. And we didn't really have an ace on the Team USA squad. So I think Paul Skeens, in the time he's in his life, this is the perfect time for him to do it.
Now, it would be cool to see Skeens, but at the end of the day, it's really the clubs who have the ultimate decision because it's their player, their investment. So, it's up to them.
He's not on a mega contract yet. We're fine.
Yeah, it's not like he could derail his career or get hurt or anything.
Hey, did any pitcher get hurt the first time around?
No, but they got rocked around.
Yes, they did, because they sucked.
Exactly. We had the likes of Adam Wainwright.
Merrill Kelly.
We had the likes of Lance Lynn.
Yeah, we need somebody to step up.
We also had Brady Singer.
We just need one. Just one ace-type pitcher to step up.
Yeah, so, like I said, that's what sucks. Obviously, most clubs are not going to be able to, borrow their best pitchers to pitch for Team USA just because they see it as a risk.
Hey, Dodgers, you got like 15 of them. You can give away 2 for
exactly
the WBC. You'll be fine. They'll literally be fine, even if somebody got hurt in the WBC.
Yeah, so I would like to see some dominant pitching from Team USA, but the question is, will the clubs let them pitch?
I hope so. I think Paul Skeens would be huge news to have on Team USA.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're going to be going for Mexico either way.
Yeah. I'm going to be rooting for Mexico. We made it to the semifinals, farthest we've ever made it in the country's history, of the tournament's history, and I'm looking to run it back. Jaron Duran, like I mentioned earlier, he's hopefully going to be starting. Verdugo's probably going to exist somewhere. Randy Rosarena, I'm excited for him to see the field.
Yep.
Alec Thomas, just to name a few.
Yeah, that's a pretty good guarantee. And we briefly talked about Mike Trout, and Mike Trout was actually in the baseball news recently because, similar to Mookie Betts, he was running towards the right field wall right before a home run, and he jumped up to try and catch a ball with some fans. He had it, probably for a split second, and a fan took it out of his glove very quickly. Nowhere near as extreme and violent as the fans did to Mookie, because they grabbed Mookie by the wrist and opened the glove.
Yeah.
The fan's hand was in Trout's glove, and then, Trout had it, and then he just took it out. And yeah, that one got called a foul ball. Kind of ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, but I think I did give it a couple looks. It looked like technically the fan did touch it just before it went inside his glove, so technically that would be considered a foul ball. But if he didn't touch it, which, like I said, I could be wrong. If he didn't touch it, then obviously it should have been an out. Double standards, Mookie's was ruled an out, so I feel like ours should have been an out.
Yep.
But if the fan did touch it before it hit the glove, then obviously it's a foul ball. But still, shouldn't happen anywhere in today's game where you shouldn't be interfering with the player whatsoever. Even if he's in your area, let the play happen.
Yeah.
But, it just sucks that, it honestly could have gone a lot worse. It could have gone a lot worse. There could have been heckling back and forth.
Yep.
There could have been some real injury, but there was actually a good ending to the story.
Only Mike Trout, man. He met up with the dad and the kid after the game, and they basically were super friendly with each other.
Yeah.
There was no meanness, no ill will, no harm. They were literally just like, yeah, it happened. It is whatever.
And from what I heard, super apologetic.
Yeah.
The father and the son, and obviously Mike Trout being the stand-up guy that he is, he forgave him. He's a father himself. So
I literally heard him say, you can hear him in the video say, I saw them getting moved up, and they were told they had to move seats. They didn't get kicked out. They said, hey, you can't be in those seats anymore.
Yeah.
Trout thought they were getting kicked out, and then he was like, oh, I don't want them to get kicked out when he saw them leaving. So that's just a sympathy, a goat like Mike Trout has. And somebody in the league who is making goat money, fourth biggest contract. No. How much is Trout's contract?
Wasn't it for like 425?
Okay.
I could be
Third
wrong.
biggest contract.
Could be wrong.
Vladimir Guerrero.
That's right.
Yes.
He finally can say he's home
Yeah, he will be.
for the next 14 plus years.
Unfortunately, in Toronto for his whole career.
Yeah, I mean, it does suck. Vladimir Guerrero, big congrats, by the way. He got his payday. I'm pretty sure he's now officially made more than his dad.
Yeah.
When it comes to playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vlad's a player who definitely deserved it. It's very hard to when your dad is a Hall of Famer,
Live up to it.
you got to live up to it. Exactly. And there's plenty of examples where many didn't, but he's one who's clearly proven himself and obviously, had to make the switch from third to first. Now he's like, got the defense does go down a little bit, but the pop remained the same, if not better.
Yeah.
So he's making $500 million over
Yep.
14 years with a signing bonus of $325 million, which will obviously be paid over the 14 years. But yeah, I'm glad he got to call Toronto his home because he is a native citizen of Canada, born over
I
there.
wanted to see him go exactly the path of his dad. Start with the Canadian team, end up with the Halos.
And then end his career in Baltimore.
He could have stayed in Anaheim. Yeah. but yeah, I wish that would have happened. I was very hopeful for it once we hit the regular season because he said if we don't reach a deal by the start of season, it's not happening. Clearly, that was a lie.
Yeah.
And yeah, so my dreams of that happening are crushed and will not be happening anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news.
But you never know. Maybe at the end of the 14, he says, I got one more in me. No. I want to play
How
where
old is
my
he
dad
now,
played.
bro? Like 14? He's got to be...
I think he's around
26.
like my age. Yeah, like
Guarantee you he's 26. Because all these mega contracts,
26.
they perfectly end to your 40-year-old season.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Anybody that's on a mega contract, they're either ending at like 39 or 40.
Well, that's usually where like the prime ends.
Exactly.
That's where you're on your decline.
But how come nobody ever does like a 7-year contract? Like, it would have Vlad super fades, and we don't want him all the way to 40, so 33.
Well, obviously, he's going to want to secure the bag. And if you want him through his prime, you're going to have to pay past his prime. And that's what the Blue Jays did.
Yep. Well, that's our baseball news.
Yeah.
And now we're going to be talking a lot of wrestling, a lot of WWE. It's the biggest week of the year for WWE and wrestling and Wrestlemania. It's one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. It might be the best experience I've had in my life. Going to my first WWE event was WrestleMania 39, and oh my Lord, I miss it dearly. So I cannot wait to be back, this time in Las Vegas, on the road a little bit. Because when it was in Los Angeles, it was here at home. It was just like
just up the freeway
drive, yeah. So now it's a little bit of a vacation mood out of this, and I hope to recapture that feeling that we had. And we're floor, so
we are floor seats. Yep.
Yeah. We're definitely, the experience is already exciting before the show's even started.
Oh yeah.
And why don't we say what we think is going to happen with each match?
All right. I'm excited.
We have Saturday and Sunday.
That's right. Two-night event.
Obviously, we'll go in order. Let's start with Jey Uso versus Gunther.
Okay. Is that the match that's starting off tonight? Or?
I don't know. I just wrote these down.
Okay.
I don't think we'll know how the order's going to go until we're in our seat.
Yeah, probably until like maybe the night before.
But anyways, yeah, what we think will happen, not what we want. I guess let's say our want really fast. Don't give an explanation.
Yeah.
And then we'll say what we think is actually going to happen.
Of course.
I want Jey Uso to win.
Mm-hmm. Oh, me too? Or I thought you were going to go both at the Okay. I want Jey Uso to win.
Yeah, okay. Okay, and then what do we think is going to happen? I do think Jey Uso is going to win.
I think Gunther's going to retain.
Really?
Yeah.
I think if Gunther retains, you completely kill Jey Uso.
Yeah.
He's lost 3 in a row against Gunther.
Oh, yeah, and he's about to go 0-4.
According to you.
According to me. Yes, my opinion. There's no facts behind it, but yeah, my opinion. Like I said, I want Jey Uso to win, capture the title that his father, Rikishi never held. But I do think Gunther's just going to prove. Now, I do think it's going to be like a bloodbath. They're both going to go, the distance. Mm-hmm. But I think at the end, it's going to be Gunther.
I don't know, man. I think they've invested too much in Jey. The whole Yeet movement, the merch, the fandom, the opportunities that he never captures except for one Intercontinental title that was very short.
Very short.
I think they've invested too much, especially making him the Rumble winner in the most stacked Rumble in like the past decade, when you could have made it Punk, you could have made it Roman, you could have made it Cena, you could have made it all these other top tier guys, and you went with Jey Uso. So
that's a big risk, big investment right there.
I don't think they would have made that move in one of the most stacked Rumbles if he wasn't going to Mania to win. So I think Jey Uso is going to win.
I do think the stock did go up on Jey Uso the last couple weeks, especially with their segments.
Especially when Gunther bathed in Jimmy's blood.
Yes. But the question is, do you think Jey is going to be able to carry the title and, as prestigious and as well as Gunther did? Because Gunther's been a good champion. He's defended it. He's wrestled well, delivered great promos to his opponents that he's defended it against over the last handful of months. But the question is, do you think they have enough trust in Jey Uso to at least be at par with Gunther or even past champions?
Yes, just based on pure entertainment.
Okay.
That's it. Literally, Gunther is I guess, threatening champion. He just has a threatening demeanor. But Jey is going to be able to have a good title reign just because he's entertaining, like with his entrance and his music and everything. You need a little work on your promos, though, I will say. Like, he can talk smack and all that, but, like, he's very, like, pausey in his promos. And he's about to, like, twist his words, but he always stops himself, and he's always like, and, like, then he gets back on it. But, yeah, I think it'd just be a whole big waste if you had him go 0-3 before this match against Gunther, put all this huge popularity onto him, and had him win the Rumble, and you're not going to have him win the title. I think it'd be a waste.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think that Jey will walk out of there a winner.
Fair enough.
Next up, Tiffy versus Charlotte. I want Tiffy to win.
I also want Tiffy to win.
Who do I think is going to win? Charlotte.
Really? I got Tiffy.
I want it to be Tiffy.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been Tiffy if her whole promo battles with Charlotte leading up to this didn't suck.
Really?
They were terrible. So,
okay.
I think, to coin a phrase from Santi Zap, one of the biggest wrestling creators out there, there's 3 guaranteed things in life: death, taxes, and Charlotte Flair winning championships.
Yeah. No, I do agree with you there. By the way, I have Tiffany winning. But yeah, I agree with your logic where Charlotte winning the title, it's like that thing, it's like expecting the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl. Charlotte has always won, or not always, I guess, but before that loss to Rhea Ripley at our Mania, she's always won at Mania, a majority of the time she did win, and then she would never lose the title. She would always lose the title on like a random Raw or a random SmackDown. I think there was one cash in on her.
Yeah.
And I just think it's crazy how she's won this many titles at WrestleMania, but then notice how she doesn't lose the titles almost, if any, at all.
I really don't want her to win because isn't she also close to her dad's record?
She is close. Isn't she like a 13-time champion?
Yeah.
I think.
I'm like, no, we don't need to make her get closer. And you think for somebody like Tiffany Stratton, who's very similar to Charlotte Flair, blonde, high-flying, you think they or she would at least be like, hey, let me give that one up to the next up.
You would think.
Yeah, you would think.
No, yeah, from what I've seen, Charlotte, her professionalism is not really there. Like, remember when she had that like little fight with Nia Jax in the middle of the ring and started slapping each other? Mm-hmm. And then the way she injured Kairi Sane? Mm-hmm. Like, in many other promotions, she most likely would have been blackballed or even fired. So I hope they really don't give her the title. It wouldn't shock me if they give her the title. But I do think that Tiffany, if you want to put her, next to Charlotte Flair in fighting champion, fighting ability and all that stuff, obviously minus the promo skills, because that is something she does need to work on. I do believe Tiffany's going to win.
Yeah. And I love the moments in WWE where you can't tell scripted and real. Do you think all the jabs they were throwing at each other were scripted? The one about her 3 divorces and The
being
one about
alone.
Kaiser being in my DMs.
Yeah. I mean,
some are hard to tell sometimes.
yeah, I think that I don't think they were scripted at all, and I'm gonna tell you why. Remember when Drew, who was it? Drew and somebody else were like they were actually taking shots at each other like online, and then they took it to the ring. Oh, LA Knight.
Yeah.
And then it turned out it was actually they built it into it to make it seem real. So, but with Charlotte, like the 3 divorces, that's pretty ballsy, by the way.
Because all the personal jabs came right after the interview promo where they were on
side
screens
by side,
and Tiffy got annihilated.
Yeah.
The personal shots came right after that one. So,
What do you think?
I don't know. I think it's real.
Yeah. So you think it wasn't scripted?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like I said, that's what I also think.
It felt too personal to be real. It's like, hey, you better be fucking cool with me. Like, if you're gonna be throwing shots like that, like.
I did see a previous promo years ago where it was Paige versus Charlotte, and Charlotte was saying how like, I'm gonna come back on top and be stronger than ever, and then Paige responded, "You know who's not gonna come back though? Your dead brother."
I saw that.
So
obviously
that was most likely scripted, but this one with the divorces, who knows? But yeah, I guess we're both in agreement that it's most likely wasn't scripted. But yeah, I got Tiffany, you got Charlotte.
I don't want Charlotte at all. But I feel like for some reason she's the one person that Triple H is like, yeah, she's the one. And it's like, nobody wants her, dude. Like, stop. But next up is LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship. It's a tough one because I like both guys.
Yeah.
But I want Jacob Fatu.
Me too. I also want Jacob Fatu.
And I also think Jacob Fatu is going to win.
Yeah. I think Jacob Fatu is going to win as well.
I think the hot fire of LA Knight is at its end, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The window of him getting pushed for a bigger championship, I think, was last year, maybe a year and a half ago. They missed that, and now they're going to take the title off him, create like a feud with Jacob Solo, because it seems like they've been beefing a little bit, and Jacob is trying to branch away from Solo, and Solo's been kind of jealous of that. And so I think he's going to get the title. Jacob Fatu is a crazy ring worker, and I don't know what to call his promo skills. They're very like confident and like angry. I wouldn't say he's like a master talker on the mic, but like he knows how to hype himself up and hype the crowd up, I guess, in the short backstage entrance to his stage entrance. And I think he's one of their top talents with in-ring ability, and I think they want to put a title on him for that. And I think they got better stories to make with him than they currently do with LA Knight. So, yeah.
Yeah, with LA Knight, obviously between LA Knight's current reign and his reign before Shinsuke.
Which a lot of people think he shouldn't have even dropped it that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, where I was going with that is, between those two reigns, Shinsuke had it, and what kind of sucked is there's really no build-up. There's no, like, matches really with Shinsuke winning the U.S. title. And so they put it back on LA Knight, and obviously he was very happy that he got it back. But, yeah, I agree with you. Like, you know, LA Knight's obviously popular with the fans. I don't think he's ever going to lose the fan base, but there's not more with him. If he does win any world title, he'd obviously have to drop the U.S. title first, so then they could obviously put him in a main event program, which can happen. Yeah. But, I think it's time, and I do think that Jacob's going to win, and then it's obviously going to build a storyline with Solo, and I do think they're just going to go on from that.
Yeah. Next up, War Raiders versus New Day. This is my piss break match on Saturday, if I'm being honest. That's a term that he introduced to me that I would say a lot of wrestling fans use. Yeah. Piss break match. I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
Oh yeah. You could put the two words together.
Yeah. You guys understand what we're saying here. That's this match for me. Yeah. It really didn't have a strong build-up. It was announced on Instagram by Adam Pearce. So, yeah, that kind of explains why it's the piss break match right there. And who do I want to win it? I guess the War Raiders. I'm not really messing with the New Day. And I think a huge thing that is going to happen, I don't know if this will be a 100% comeback, but because of how dirty they did Big E on their 10-year celebration, I think Big E interferes somehow, cost them these titles, and War Raiders retain.
I guess I want War Raiders to win just because
that's how.
There wasn't really a lot of build.
There's no substance to this match.
Exactly. I feel like if they added a stipulation, maybe it would be
That's
more
the other
interesting.
thing. Only one match at this year's Mania has a stipulation, which I hate. I love special matches, and we only have one, so that kind of sucks. But whatever.
Yeah, if they add a stipulation, obviously it would be more interesting. Maybe not be the piss break match, but
yeah.
I want War Raiders to win just because they're a great tag team, and I'm not saying that New Day isn't a great tag team, but I do think that War Raiders can bring more in the division, but I think that New Day is gonna win.
I honestly feel like I'd want New Day to win if they were still the old New Day. Mm-hmm. This other New Day, I'm like,
Well, they're heels, so this is the first time they've been heels since they first introduced the group as heels, and I do think, like I said, I want War Raiders to win, but I think New Day's gonna win, and I think this is gonna be like their maybe second ever tag team title reign as heels. Mm-hmm. So I do think it'll be more entertaining. I do think Xavier and Kofi are both great on the mic. More Xavier, obviously, but and plus as heels, they could obviously face
the guy who always holds the mic like this.
Yeah,
for some reason.
Yeah, but I do think they could bring more. Obviously talking trash. Making enemies anywhere backstage, and then boom, I feel like they can have an instant classic with anybody in the backstage.
Plus the War Raiders, dude. Who doesn't love big guys that can fly?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ivar, man. I don't know how he can move like that. Gives me Big Bam Bigelow vibes.
Next up, Jade Cargill versus Naomi. So I want Jade Cargill to win, and I think Jade Cargill is going to win. I think she is just on the brink of that superstar push to get her in the ballpark of Rhea, Io, Bianca, Bailey, Liv. I think this is the match that she gets past, and then she goes on that kind of run. And I don't think this loss would hurt Naomi as much because Naomi's doing a great job as a heel right now. Her promo work on SmackDown for this match has been great. And I think it would hurt Jade more if Jade lost. So, yeah, that's why I'm breaking it down like that.
Yeah, I want and think that Jade is going to win as well. I think this is only her maybe second or third ever match as
her first WrestleMania, which we can say.
Yeah. as a singles competitor.
Yeah.
She obviously lost to Liv not too long ago.
Yep.
But I like you said, it's obviously going to build her up. I see her definitely fighting, maybe not for the world championships right now, but definitely one of the more mid cards, so either the women's United States or IC title.
Those titles need more love.
They do.
I'd rather have one of those titles at Mania than the tag team titles of the women.
And neither of those titles are getting a match, which is insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think Jade Cargill, that's obviously going to push her. And I do think Naomi's going to do a really good job of helping her opponent, Jade Cargill, look good. So yeah, Jade for both.
All right. Next up, Rey Mysterio versus the newest luchador on the scene, El Grande Americano.
Yeah, dude. He's been all over the world.
All over.
And the fact that he's getting a shot in WWE. Yeah. And his first WrestleMania.
Yeah. Do you think Chad Gable interferes in this match?
You know what? It sucks that Chad Gable's not wrestling.
Nah, I know. He's
missing
missed out
another WrestleMania.
Unbelievable.
But, I'm glad that El Grande Americano is getting his shot, his first ever WrestleMania, because, the fact that he got blackballed out of wrestling and WWE really gave him the call and said, you know what, bro?
We're giving you a shot.
We're giving you a shot at WrestleMania. And against one of the greatest luchadors of all time.
So with that, I want Rey Mysterio to win. I think Rey Mysterio is going to win because he is tired of El Grande Americano. He wants the mystery over with. And I think he will unveil who's under that mask by the time he wins the match.
Yeah, I mean, you basically took the words right out of the mouth.
Yeah.
I think that Rey Mysterio is going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Going to add another W to his WrestleMania record.
Yep.
And hopefully unmask and see who this masked wrestler is.
Yeah. Couldn't be Chad Gable, though.
No, I've heard Omos being rumored about it.
Mark Henry, I possibly heard.
That's a far fetch, but
Kali.
That's that's one of the names I've heard rumbling around there.
The Boogeyman.
Boogeyman's another one.
Hornswoggle.
Dude, you're naming literally like the top most likely
Popular answers.
And then the one under that's Michelle McCool.
Oh yeah.
So, like I said, it could be anybody, but I heard the popular answer is Omos. So,
okay.
I think it's Omos.
And finally, the main event of Saturday is CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. This one is tough.
It is tough because I forgot what actor, but I saw it on Instagram where somebody told him any three of them can win, and it would be the right decision.
Yeah. I could literally see WWE pulling a move on any of them, and the explanation could be made for any of them.
Mm-hmm.
So the person I think who could least likely be hurt by a loss in this match is Roman.
Yeah,
I think the past 4 years of dominance for Roman has built him up to such a high that he could lose this match, and it
wouldn't affect him.
Yeah, the fans wouldn't.
His
care.
legacy, like
Yeah.
LeBron's, wouldn't be affected greatly.
Yeah, and I don't think the fans would look at him any different if he took an L in this match.
Exactly.
Who do I want to win this match?
Mm.
CM Punk.
Okay.
Who do I think is going to win this match? Seth Rollins.
The fact that you said that, I'm like, that's really good. But yeah, I want CM Punk to win as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I also think Seth's gonna win because it's gonna throw us for such a loophole when Paul Heyman becomes his new wise man, his new.
That's exactly where I think this is going.
What's the word they call him? What did Brock Lesnar call him? His
I don't know, Brock Lesnar guy.
no, but
Paul Heyman guy.
No, but it was something else. Advisor or
something like that.
Yeah, but anyway,
I think Seth Rollins by the end of this, we'll see Paul Heyman team with him, and he'll be the new Paul Heyman guy. And then that leaves the door open for CM Punk and Roman to do their own feud too. They get mad at each other. Like, if it wasn't for you messing with Paul, no, if it wasn't for you messing with Paul. And then Seth does his own thing with Paul for a while. They beef for a while. And I think that's how it goes.
I do think Seth is going to use his favor in this match.
Yeah, does he actually get one, or was that just a saying?
I think we're going to find out at WrestleMania. But
okay.
If it is real, I do think that Rollins is going to look at Paul Heyman, and once he gives him that look, Paul's going to give the same face he gave to Roman when Roman's all like, tell this fool that I say no.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the same thing, basically, where, Rollins is going to give him like a look, and he's going to be like, I'm catching in that favor. And so that's going to be the result of the match. And then obviously Punk and Roman in disbelief, looking at each other and looking up at Rollins and Heyman together, which, like I said, would be insane.
So that's all of Saturday. Let's go to Sunday now. Io versus Bianca versus Rhea.
That's another stellar triple threat, which that was supposed to be in contention with the last triple that we just talked about.
Yeah, for a possible main event.
Exactly. But Punk gets his first main event.
Yeah, I could have been okay with it being the main event, but obviously I think they were dedicated to getting Punk a main event. But in this match, who do I want to win? It's just as hard as the last triple threat. Like, I like all these girls.
Me too.
Probably Io. I'd say Io, want and think, not going to lie.
Okay.
Because I think it's very similar to how we were talking about the last triple threat. I think Rhea and Bianca could have a huge, big story against each other. And obviously a lot of this triple threat has been built on them. Like, hey, screw you. They've been hating each other, and then they're kind of pushing Io out. So I think they're going to be too distracted by each other, and Io's going to capitalize on one of them.
Yeah. Great one right there. Yeah, plus I feel like if they take off the title off Io, like,
it was kind of pointless for her to win it in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah. So wouldn't she win it right after the night after
Elimination Chamber?
Exactly. So she's had it for about a month.
Yeah.
And
it would be like, why wouldn't you just keep it on Rhea?
Exactly. Yeah. But I guess they needed it to like build the storyline.
Yeah.
Between the three.
Yeah.
I want Io to win as well. That way it would really like solidify that she's probably one of the better champions today. But I think they're going to give it back on Rhea.
Another Rhea run?
Yeah.
Like, let it cool off for a little bit.
Yeah. Like
Make us want it again.
Exactly. I I want Io to win,
Yeah.
but I think they're gonna put it on Rhea. Rhea's a great wrestler, great superstar. Obviously, nothing to take away from her, future Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
So many accolades, but I think they're definitely gonna put it back on her. And I do think they might run it back. Maybe not a triple threat, but maybe with either Bianca or Io. And I do think from this WrestleMania match, they're gonna finally like go all in on Bianca being a heel, which I've heard she doesn't want to be a heel. But the way she's been in this storyline, it feels like
the
she's
fans
the
keep
heel.
making her the heel.
Exactly.
When she's not supposed to be the
she's
heel.
not, but exactly. They're obviously like making her the bad person in this when she's
because
not.
Rhea's too over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And people love Io.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
like I said, I finally think they're gonna go all in and make her a heel. Like after the match, like you know how they shake their hands, hug, and everything.
Yeah.
I think Bianca's definitely gonna slap
Crash
either
out.
one. Exactly. She's gonna flip out, crash out, and yeah.
All right. Next up, Intercontinental Fatal 4-Way. By the way, which I didn't know until this last Raw last night. First ever Fatal 4-Way Intercontinental match at WrestleMania. First one ever.
Okay.
So we'll be seeing it.
So it's either been a like a ladder match,
Single,
6-man,
double,
single,
triple.
double.
Sorry, single, triple threat. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So Fatal 4-Way, interesting.
Yeah, Braun, the champ, versus Dom versus Finn versus Penta. Super excited to see Penta in person. And I want Penta to win, but I think Dom is going to win, and I'd also be okay with that. Why do I think Dom's going to win? First of all, I don't think they had this Fatal 4-Way match for no reason. I think they would not have Braun drop the title in a singles match. So they're like, if we put him in a Fatal 4-Way, he still looks powerful, taking an L because he doesn't have to be the one that gets pinned. It's probably going to be Pin Balor, not going to lie. And I think Dom is going to be the one to pin him because they have their own Judgment Day beef. They are like this close to losing it on each other. And I think it's going to snap in this Fatal 4-Way match. Dom's going to pin him. That way Braun can lose the title without taking a pin. And then you can have them continue their beef. And it finally like hatches because it's been boiling for a while. But nothing has happened between Dom and Finn. They've just been arguing in backstage promos. Not really lashed out. And I think that finally all comes to an end here. And Dom picks up the win. And Dom gets his first title. Singles title.
On the main roster.
On the
That's
main
right.
roster.
Great explanation.
Yeah.
Mine's pretty similar to yours. For my want, obviously want Penta to win.
Zero. Noodle.
But I think that it's actually no wait. What am I thinking? I want and I think Penta's gonna win. And let me tell you why. So what I think is gonna happen is at some point Finn and Dom are gonna see someone laying down and they're both gonna go for the pin. Mm-hmm. And so this is the part where like, you know, they start, you know, pushing each other back and forth, and then they start actually swinging at each other. At some point, I feel like Carlito's going to interfere because, you know, Judgment Day loves to interfere. And then there's going to be a chance where Carlito has a chance to either help Dom or help Finn, and he's not going to know what to do. That's where LeBron Breaker, by the way, I call him LeBron Breaker. He's obviously going to spear Carlito again at some point. Penta's going to reverse out of whatever hold he's in and then obviously attack both. And one way or another, I think they're obviously going to all perform finishers on each other. Mm-hmm. And they're going to get heated, obviously, each Finn and Dom. And at the end, I'm going to say that Penta wins. And then that way, Finn and Dom get mad at each other, and it sets up for Finn versus Dom at Backlash. Winner becomes the leader of Judgment Day, or loser leaves Judgment Day.
Got it. I'm hearing a lot of people saying Aleister Black, when he returns, is going to be that new member. Yeah. Finn will find his way out, and Aleister will slide in.
Yeah, Aleister Black.
He fits the vibe of Judgment Day, too.
Yeah.
So.
Aleister Black, obviously known as Malachi Black in AEW, was in WWE, fantastic wrestler, married to Zelina Vega.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Lucky man.
And, Aleister Black, which I've heard he could be a mystery opponent for Randy Orton in WrestleMania.
I hope not. I really hope. Don't do that.
They also said Rusev, aka
Don't
Miro,
do that either.
he might be like, for example,
WWE, I know you're watching. Don't do that either.
which by the way, I don't know if you heard, but Rusev signed
Re-signed, I know.
Yeah, and then
Don't do that.
Jeff Cobb was signed like a month ago. Jeff Cobb is a great independent wrestler. He was in New Japan. You'll get to know him when he gets introduced at some point.
Okay. Next up, Liv and Raquel versus Bailey and Lyra.
The piss break match.
Yeah, I'm looking at the rest of the matches. This is the piss break match.
It's unfortunate, but
Yeah, and it's not a knock on any of them. It's just the fact that Lyra and Bailey were literally formed as a tag team last week.
yeah, after facing off against each other one-on-one the week before.
Yeah. I think they lose, and I would think the logic is let's get some more hype on these women's mid-card titles. They lose because of one's fault or something like that, so the other one gets mad at the other one, and then off of that, they go back into an intercontinental feud after Mania and build that belt up. Because if like somebody like Bailey got a hold of that belt, it's going to rise. Like, it's going to have more popularity. So I think one of them screws up with them arguing, and then Liv and Raquel take advantage, retain, and then that creates a whole new feud with Bailey and Lyra post-Mania.
Yeah, I agree. I want and think that Liv and Raquel are going to retain. It does suck that there was really no good build-up for the tag team division.
I think another reason was they just wanted to get Liv on Mania because Liv had such a killer 2024 that it's like, how can she miss Mania when she dominated 2024?
And the fact that they barely named the number one contenders just like a week before Mania.
Oh, literally.
So, yeah, it does suck. And plus, yeah, Lyra's had like multiple championship matches defending the title, but like they've just been one-ups.
How do you know?
What do you mean?
How do you know she's had multiple championship matches? Who are they against?
I don't remember.
Dakota Kai.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I got depressed. Sorry, the reason why I didn't remember is because it was so far deep in my memory.
And she's been off TV, too. Where's she been?
What do you mean? She's hyping up Io Sky like backstage and stuff. Just showing up looking pretty on camera.
Like, bro, she was in the finals of that match. Yep. Then she got another shot.
Yep.
And she really hasn't been seen since.
Wrestling, yeah, which kind of sucks. But like I said, I hope Lyra can obviously make that title more interesting. Obviously, it's not up to her, to like make it a feud or whatsoever. But she's putting on great matches, especially like the one she just had with Bailey one-on-one.
She doesn't really promo. I've only seen her wrestle. I don't remember her like cutting promos or anything, even backstage or anything like that.
And I do hope, by the way, that both women's mid-card titles get boosted up after this.
I think what Chelsea's doing is better right now for the two mid-card titles. And there was actually a pretty good story going with her and Zelina Vega. Like, I thought they were building a good feud for that title, which I would have been fine having at Mania, and we're not.
By the way, that wasn't the plan finished. That count out.
Oh, really?
It wasn't the plan finished. Apparently, like, the ref was really counting, like, hey, you actually got to get back in. And then she was, like, trying to, like, yell at the crowd or something.
Well, she was yelling at Joe Tessitore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, that wasn't the plan finish at all.
Oh.
So.
Well.
But, like, that would be a great match. Even if it was just 5 minutes, it would be nice to, see that title defended at Mania.
Yeah. She's really only defended it on SmackDown against, like, Meechin.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. And Chelsea's a great character. I think Chelsea's character is hilarious. I love the whole Secret Hervis thing. I don't really, not really as a tag team. I'm like, whatever. But like them protecting Chelsea, I think is hilarious.
Yeah. By the way, you see Piper Niven's kind of botch where she was supposed to go over the top rope. And she like jumped off trying to roll over the top rope and she couldn't. Yeah, that was a pretty interesting botch. And then like she kicked out at one. I forgot who she wrestled. It was at the end of the gauntlet where like I think it was Lyra jumped from the top rope, pinned her, won, and then she just kicked out after one. And we're like, wow, so much for like trying to make her opponent look good. But to answer your question, Liv and Raquel.
Yeah, same. Next up, the only stipulation match of all of WrestleMania is Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest in a Sin City street fight. Now, look, like I said, I do love stipulation matches. I love special matches. However, all the special matches lately are no DQ or no DQ with a fancy name. The San Paulo street fight when it was in Puerto Rico, the Sin City street fight. Or no, wait, I said that Puerto Rico one wrong.
I think you mean San Juan.
San Juan.
Sao Paulo's Brazil.
Yeah, Brazil. Yeah.
It's okay. We're not great at geography.
It's okay.
It's the country.
I was close. I'm closer than most people I know.
Exactly. Anyway, continue.
And they're all named after. There was one in Pittsburgh too, with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. It's just a no DQ match with a new name.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's basically it's like a no holds barred.
Yeah.
Just a no DQ.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm glad, but like, take me back to the days of like Last Man Standing, First Blood, Inferno matches.
I think I was at no. I don't think I was at WWE's last Inferno match, but when it was Kane versus Bray Wyatt, I was there. And it was an Inferno match, and I was like, wow, fire.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do. Yeah. Plus, even like the Punjabi prison matches.
Hell in a Cell, Steel Cage.
Yeah.
Especially because I feel like we got done dirty at 39 because we had a Hell in a Cell, but obviously Finn Balor's head got split open, so we didn't really get to enjoy the Hell in the Cell.
They stopped for like what, 5 minutes?
Yeah, Edge was just walking around the ring for a while,
and we're like,
yeah.
I remember, was it Jasmine or Shane? We're like, is this part of the show?
And we're like, no, I think he's actually hurt.
like Shane McMahon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That too. It's like, is that supposed to happen? Like, we're looking at each other like, oh, I don't think so.
Yeah.
So
what other like? There's definitely more than just no holds bar and no DQ matches. Like I'm trying to think of the other tables matches, TLC matches.
Yeah.
Like,
by the way, no ladder match at this Mania.
Yeah. There's usually one.
I thought the IC title would have been a ladder.
I'm
match.
hearing a lot of people. So also before we finish up our Saturday and Sundays, Saturday has 7 matches.
Yeah, and doesn't
Sunday
also
has 6 currently.
Really?
If we book Randy, 7.
Oh, okay.
So that's what it's looking like. But I'm also hearing that since the SmackDown tag team division is so hot right now, and for some reason they're not on the Mania card, but Raw's tag team titles are, there's a lot of tag teams that are flourishing over on SmackDown, like Legado del Fantasma,
MCMG,
Street Profits, DIY, and there's one, Yes
Deadly.
Boy. Yeah, Pretty
Deadly.
Deadly. I'm hearing maybe a last second 5 tag team ladder match for the titles.
That would be cool, but as of now, I've heard that there's already a tag team championship match for SmackDown before Mania.
There is. It's MCMG versus Street Profits.
Exactly. So
I'm hearing
interference.
Yeah, I've heard rumors
like
that all the tag teams are
like
going to be jealous and create huge havoc, and then Aldis is just going to be like, "That's it. You know what? Tomorrow night, all of you." Tag teams, ladder match.
Sunday night, maybe?
Sunday, but
yeah,
I mean,
same thing.
It doesn't sound as dramatic
Yeah.
if you say Sunday night instead of when
yeah.
you could be like tomorrow. I'm
Exactly.
Mania.
Exactly. I like that. I like
Yeah.
that idea where they just throw them all together, ladder match,
Yeah.
and then obviously a bunch of spots. Montez maybe going off the top a little bit.
Yeah, and the people you could have in that match, like
Pretty
Montez.
Deadly. I love Pretty Deadly. They're a great tag team too.
Yes, boy.
Which is crazy. 'Cause I think I texted you guys in our wrestling chat. Where like their entrance was actually like people were invested in it.
Well, I didn't know they had a disco ball in
Yeah.
their entrance for the longest time, so I would love to see the disco ball.
Yeah, so I would love to see them at WrestleMania. Plus, I don't think they've ever even Pretty Deadly's like wrestled at Mania, so that would be cool to see.
What it's telling me, since currently, officially, we have 7 Saturday, 6 Sunday, to me, that's basically saying we're getting one more.
Yeah.
In some way, somehow.
Plus, either that or Randy has to get his match.
Yeah, exactly.
One of them.
Hopefully, both.
Hopefully. I will. The more the merrier.
Yeah. And just make one of the other matches a squash match. I'm hearing rumors that Jacob and LA Knight might be a squash match.
That's interesting. The Jade and Naomi, I wouldn't mind if that was a squash match.
Yeah,
either.
seriously. Like if we can get Randy and this ladder match, I'm okay making something a squash match.
Plus, like you want Jade to win via squash because that would just
Dominance, yeah.
exactly.
So yeah, hopefully that'll happen. I am all for. I don't care if they make it either of those super last minute. I don't care. And another match, we got 2 left here for Sunday. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. This one was kind of strange. Not the craziest build-up. It was just kind of Logan Paul saying, "You ain't shit" to AJ
Plus,
Styles.
it doesn't help that Logan's a part-timer. So
Yeah, and people are saying this could be AJ Styles' last Mania.
I hope not.
I think that AJ is going to win, and I want AJ to win. I'm thinking AJ is going to win because it would be more detrimental if AJ lost. And honestly, if they have a banger match, because AJ and Logan can both fly.
Yeah.
And if Logan just wrestles him good and looks good, making him look good, he can still take an L and he'll be fine. Where if you did it to AJ this late in his career, it'd be kind of messed up, it'd feel like.
Yeah, I think I could be wrong. Obviously, I'm not a historian, but I think AJ's last win at Mania was against Shinsuke when it was for the championship. I think it was the WWE Championship at the time. But I want AJ to win, but I think they're going to give the win to Logan Paul. And I don't think this is going to be AJ's last WrestleMania because I think, didn't AJ Styles say
He wants to wrestle till 50.
Exactly. So, but obviously with age, the quality most likely declines in matches, which I hope
currently 47.
Exactly. So I do think he's maybe got one WrestleMania, but after this one, he's definitely got one more WrestleMania in him, and I think they're gonna put him out on top, hopefully. But yeah, I want AJ to win, but I think they're actually gonna make Logan Paul win because I think he's 0-2 now at Mania. He lost against
Ray.
No,
Ray?
that was a Crown Jewel, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was.
He lost against Seth.
That's what it was.
That's the one we saw. And then what was the Philly one?
was-
The triple threat.
It was a U.S. title match.
And he won that one, didn't he? He retained, didn't he?
Who did
Because Randy and KO didn't win.
That was the match?
Yeah, it was a triple threat. KO, Randy, and Logan. Because remember, Speed was the bottle this time?
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. It seems like WWE's making that a thing.
What?
Every year, there's somebody in the Prime bottle.
Oh, yeah.
So, we saw at our Mania, it was KSI.
Last year.
Last year was Speed.
This year.
So, this year, people are saying, who's it going to be? And I saw this, and I'm going to take this one. Mr. Beast. They've partnered on Lunchly throughout this year.
Okay.
Obviously, they have a connection now. I think it makes too much sense. Mr. Beast is very well known throughout the entire world. So, yeah, I think that's who will be in the Prime bottle this year.
Okay, that's a good one. I'm obviously not going to take it because I want to think of somebody too. This is literally just the first person I thought of. This wasn't even a question that we thought about.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Sketch.
Sketch?
I'm gonna say Sketch is in the Prime bottle.
That'd be funny.
It would be funny.
What's up, brother?
Exactly. He look at AJ Styles. AJ Styles would just turn to him, and Sketch would, with his glasses, be like, "What's up, brother?" I think it would be funny.
It would be funny.
I think it would be Sketch. But, back to the match though. I do think it would be, like I said, I want AJ, but I think it's gonna be Logan Paul.
All right, that leaves one more.
Andre the Giant. Oh,
the match, and I'm gonna do this, and I want you guys to hear this because I've been rubbing my hands together because that's what I've been waiting for.
Headphone warning, please turn it down. This is your one and only warning.
No. I just want it to be so quiet that you guys can hear my hands rubbing together.
I thought you were gonna yell. Okay, my apologies. Turn it back up.
I'm not. I'm gonna yell.
Okay.
I specifically wanted this Mania to be West Coast because this match is the match that I told myself. Red Shorts told himself. Maybe you too, but definitely not as much as me in Shorts, that we had to be there, and that is John Cena's final WrestleMania on the retirement tour for John Cena. Now, prior to Elimination Chamber, we did not know where John Cena would be. Currently as a heel, was not expecting that. And if he wins title number 17, becoming the man in WWE with the most world championship victories, passing Ric Flair. And I cannot wait. You know what? No ifs. I cannot wait till it happens, and I am there in person. I want John Cena to win, and I think John Cena is going to win. I'm trying not to be biased, but I have reasons, and I am going 100% into that. So, here is why. John Cena has been a 20-plus year babyface. He went heel. Nobody thought he'd do it, but he did it. And what is just a little sprinkle on top that would make that heel run even better if you gave him a championship heel run. So, I think he wins. I think we see interference from Stone Cold Steve Austin. Obviously, John has The Rock on his side. I'm sure he'll come out. He'll do everything he can to stop Cody because The Rock just can't stand Cody winning, especially since he denied him for the offer at Elimination Chamber and last year what he did to Roman. So I think Rock comes out to help Cena. We already know Stone Cold's going to be in Vegas. There's no doubt about that. He will be there. He is doing photo ops at WWE World, so he's in Las Vegas for the event anyways. So I don't see why he doesn't come out to be the counter to The Rock. Then they deal with each other, and I think somehow, some way, actually no, not somehow, some way. I think Cena dives into everything he refused to do during his 20 years of being a babyface. He'll do everything dirty. So if that distraction of The Rock and Stone Cold takes away Cody's attention, I think Cena pulls off something dirty, maybe a low blow, a weapon, the chain gang, brass knucks. I think he does it, and he wins 17 dirty. I don't think anyone would care because this is the first time we've seen him do it. And he gets number 17. And he has a good couple months as a heel champion. There you go.
You really thought about that.
Yeah, of course I did.
You know, and I find it funny, too, because, like, 2 years ago and last year, you were big on Cody. Obviously, the main factor being that Roman had held it for too long.
Yes.
Now, whereas...
Which I was going to make the argument earlier about Rhea. I love Rhea. But, like, if you keep forcing her on us as champion, I'm not going to enjoy it as much. It was like the same ballpark. So, like, if Rhea wins again, it's going to be like, okay, we get it. Like, anyways, go ahead.
So, yeah, like I said, I find it funny how, like I said, 2 years ago and last year, you hated Roman. Roman doesn't deserve to be champion. He's been holding it on for so long. Let it be someone else.
But, like, just let's move to somebody else at this point. Like,
Cody has had it for only what now?
It'll be a year basically.
He's had it now for a year and some change.
Yeah.
And now, like you're saying, a year's enough. I want my hero.
No.
I want my hero to be WWE champion, and I want him to break the record.
It's not that his reign's been too long.
You usually say that your cap's like a year, and then.
Well, if you're a good champ, then whatever. But like
Roman was a good champ.
Okay, a year is fine. 3 years starts to get ridiculous.
Oh my! I think you would have hated Bruno Sammartino.
Oh, I would have. what was his?
1600.
Oh, a little longer than Roman. Like one more year.
I don't want to look it up, but it was a long time.
We're not talking about Bruno Sammartino.
You would have hated Hulk Hogan.
Oh, I probably would have grown to hate him. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. You probably would have hated Bob Backlund.
Okay. Anyways. If it gets to a ridiculous point, like 1,316 days, it's actually a really easy number to remember for Roman's reign.
It might be 2,000.
No, it's 1,316.
For Bruno?
Oh, no, I don't know. We're not talking about Bruno.
Okay.
We're talking about Roman.
Fella hates history.
It's really easy to remember Romans because what number is really popular to wrestling fans? 316.
619. Oh.
That too, 619. But 316. Austin 316. And how long did Roman hold it? 1,316 days. It's really easy to remember. So yeah, that's a ridiculous point when it goes on for that long. So that was my argument when we were watching Roman. Anyways, a year is fine. But when you're going up against my childhood GOAT, I'm sorry, Cody, but when I became a fan of Cena, I didn't know who you were. I didn't even know you existed. Cena had my heart for a few years until I found out who you were. So you're going up against my GOAT, and my GOAT is chasing history. So unfortunately, Cody, I want you to lose, buddy. Plain and simple.
By the way, it's 4,040 days for Bruno Sammartino.
Jesus, dude, he basically quadrupled Roman.
Yeah, I just Googled it real quick while you were going. Oh, it's combined. Combined 4,040 days.
Okay, anyways, can you give your opinion?
Yeah, so I think... No, sorry. I want Cena to win.
Woo!
And I think Cena's going to win.
Woo!
Like obviously, yeah, you could say that Cody's going to win, but, I mean, you're basically in the minority, and your logic wouldn't really make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cena's definitely going to win, go on a run, And then, of course, he's going to lose the title at some point before his retirement match in December. And then, obviously, it's going to build the feud of...
I think he drops it at Survivor Series. That's my guess.
Yeah, and I do... what I'm obviously hearing rumors about, rumblings, is that Cena loses the title. Rock hates Cena because, like, you were my champ and now you lost it. And then, obviously, that sets up Rock versus Cena.
3?
And, yeah, as his final match. Like I said, it was a rumor. It's a possibility.
Yeah.
Is it happening? Maybe. But is there any sources to back that up? No. But like I said, that was just somebody's theory on it. But, yeah, it makes sense for Cena. Final run in WWE as a full-time wrestler. I really don't think it makes a lot of sense to have it stay on Cody. And plus, like I said, imagine how much merch would be sold with Cena as champion. And obviously, and plus he's going to most likely defend the title probably against Randy at Backlash.
I hope so.
That would be like their send-off.
I hope so.
But yeah, obviously I don't want to go too much further because there's really not too much to explain. Really, it's really going to be Cena, and that's the way it's going to look at it.
Yeah, I think no matter what, Cena's getting 17 in his retirement tour. Triple H in the promos and for this Mania has said it's going to be legendary. You can't just do that and not have him win 17, and there's no bigger spot for Cena to win it than WrestleMania. No matter how you look at it, it's the biggest promo of the year. It's where all the story building, all the character build, everything that happens in a wrestling year ends at that night, and how are you not going to do it that night? They do it that night, give them a good heel run till Survivor Series, which is around like November-ish usually. So I think that's what happens, and Survivor Series could be here also. There's been rumors.
Oh yeah, Survivor Series that one was San Diego, right?
Yes.
And Money in the Bank's in LA.
LA. Yeah. Rumored. But
Yet
yeah,
to be announced.
That's all the matches, man. And let's just do really quickly who we're most excited to see. So obviously for me it's Cena.
At Mania or just
at Mania?
In Vegas? Okay.
Obviously for me it's Cena. It has the biggest impact for me that night. But I mean, straying away from him for a second, Randy Orton. I've never seen Randy live. I have been begging for it. Oh, we also need to talk about that, who we think Randy could be facing. But Randy Orton, I'm already putting it in my head that he's going to be there. He was supposed to fight against Kevin Owens. If you keep up, Kevin Owens has an actual injury that's going to keep him out for maybe 2 years, people are saying. And in my head, he's going. Like, there's no way they don't give him a last-minute match. So, yeah, Randy Orton.
Especially, and healthy. He's healthy.
He's good to go. So Randy Orton, I need to scream his theme song. That's my answer.
What that you're gonna see him at Mania? Oh, you're most excited to see?
Yeah.
Okay. For me, I didn't really actually think about that.
Is it
much.
the man on your shirt?
Penta would be cool to see, but I kind of. I'll give a 2-part answer. I guess Penta would be one. Mm-hmm. The other one will be Jacob Fatu.
I knew it. I'm looking at his name right now.
Jacob Fatu, because those are two guys that I've seen in the independent scene.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're not wrestling in front of, or they're not wrestling in stadiums. They're not wrestling in front of tens of thousands of crowds. When I went to go see them, it was maybe like a couple hundred. Same for Jacob Fatu. They made it. They're in WrestleMania, most likely the biggest crowd that ever wrestled it, probably for their life.
Yeah.
As up to that point.
Yeah.
So I'll give you 2 answers right there: Penta and Jacob Fatu.
And let's get back to Randy Orton because, like we said, he's most likely getting a match. Who do we want to see Randy Orton face? Just one. For me, it's easy. I don't think there should be any other answer. Nick Aldis.
Me. Oh.
The general manager of SmackDown. They already have kind of had this like butting heads beef between manager and superstar, and Randy Orton was like, "Oh, here's this check of $100K. I know you owe you that $50,000 for that RKO. This is for the next one." He gave him that next one. They even hinted, "Hey, Nick, why don't you get in the ring again?" Solo interrupted, making fans think, are they just gonna give him Solo Sikoa? No, please don't. You actually have some substance with Randy versus Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis isn't just a GM that is there to just be a GM. He actually has wrestling experience for over a decade. So please give us GM versus angry Randy Orton, Nick Aldis. Let's do it.
That's a very good answer. But I don't want to piggyback off you. I also want to give out a different name just so, like, open speculation. When I first heard about this Kevin Owens injury and knew it was going to sideline him, with 2 weeks left until Mania at that time, I was thinking, who would make sense? And my thought was Sami Zayn. Because obviously he had that feud with Kevin Owens previously. And then, if you remember, I think it was at Royal Rumble, he said, we could both main event together. Me as WWE champion and then you winning the Rumble and going for the World Heavyweight. Yeah. We could both be at WrestleMania. And, of course, obviously, sorry, I lost train of thought. But, yes, Sami Zayn, I think it would make sense. He's just going to – I feel like it's going to be a backstage thing. I thought it was going to be at this past SmackDown, but I guess not. But I guess maybe this SmackDown, like I said, maybe Randy heads out towards the ring or, walking his way like backstage. Somebody attacks him. And then, of course, Randy goes to Nick Aldis and says, I want you to find out who it is. And they find out that same night it was Sammy. And then they set up WrestleMania. That was my thought at the time. Now, I still think it could be Sammy, but still not a lot of build. Wouldn't make really a lot of sense. If they don't come up with something, which is my opinion, I don't think they find something for him.
They literally only have one more night.
I think they put him in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and they have him win. That's my opinion.
It's SmackDown, though.
I don't think they're going to have anything for him at Mania. That's just my opinion. Like I said, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I see him at WrestleMania.
I hope you're wrong, too.
Yeah, but that's just my guess. Because, that happened with Bobby Lashley a couple years ago.
Dude, just get the Nick Aldis, bro.
It
actually sounds fire.
And I said, yours is not a bad idea. I do want to see Randy at Mania, but I just want to give a different answer just to
Yeah.
So
do you agree that Nick Aldis is the best option?
Yes.
Okay.
Nick Aldis would be the best option. Plus the RKO, it's not a lot, but it's something. It's
there's a story.
Exactly. It's something.
Yeah.
Because with 2 weeks, you don't have a lot to build much.
And especially because you didn't confirm anything last week, so you only have one more week.
Exactly. But like I said, that's just another theory. Either Sami Zayn.
A game theory.
Either Sami Zayn or Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Because that happened to Bobby Lashley a couple years ago. Bray Wyatt, obviously, health concerns at the time. Mm-hmm. And so that's what they did. Bobby Lashley came up with a trophy and said, look at me, look at my pretty trophy. And then he stood up there for like a minute and we all clapped and we were all like, okay.
So after all the wrestling of WrestleMania is over with, we will be attending WWE World, which is like Wrestling Comic-Con. WWE hosts it. And it's every single day of WrestleMania weekend. You're going also Sunday?
Friday, Sunday.
Friday, Sunday, and Monday.
Yep.
Monday I'm only going Monday. But here's the superstars we bought photo ops for. We are going to meet. I am going to be meeting Roxanne Perez. That's my WWE crush. Rob Van Dam, WWE legend. Everybody else after this, me and him are meeting together, so we don't have to name them twice.
Yeah.
So me and him are both meeting Rob Van Dam, Dirty Dom, and John Cena. And the odds of Dom and Cena being champs when we meet them are pretty good.
Yeah, it's on Monday after Mania.
After Mania, yeah.
Before Raw.
Yep.
So we could honestly take a picture of them when they both have the titles.
Yep.
If they both hold the titles. Cena most likely, Dom, who knows?
Yeah, I think odds are both pretty good for both of them. So, yeah, those are the four that I'm meeting.
For me, Friday, I am meeting Dakota Kai, one of my crushes. I'm also meeting Penta because he's Mexican, so I gotta meet the homie right there. Mm-hmm. Sunday, I'm meeting Stephanie Vaquer, obviously a fan of hers, as well as for the same reason as Dakota Kai. And on Monday, you already mentioned Dominic and Cena.
And Van Dam.
And RVD. On Monday, I am meeting Julia and Cora Jade for the same reasons as Stephanie Vaquer and Dakota Kai.
I can't wait. That's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm excited.
WrestleMania in general is going to be so much fun. And this next and final topic is built up with hype. It's WrestleMania weekend and everything, but it's a first for both of us. We're going to our first TNA show.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep, in May.
Yeah. Literally the start of May.
Yeah.
But the thing I'm most excited for, the thing that really has me hooked for this TNA show is seeing the Hardys. I've never seen the Hardys, and in TNA they are still the Hardy Boys, so I cannot wait to see them. It's going to be a lot of fun. Have you ever seen the Hardys?
I'm trying to think. I don't think I've seen the Hardys. No, I can't say.
Awesome.
I could be wrong, but right now, just thinking about it, no.
All right. Well, I can't wait. We're going to have a lot of stories to tell when we get back from WrestleMania weekend. So make sure you are subscribed here to Off the Field Podcast and the Instagram and our personal Instagrams, because I know we're both going to be posting stories, having Instagram posts of our entire trip in Vegas. I'm going to have them both in the description. If you're too lazy to go look at the description, it's at Austin Kleschka. I'm sure you know how to spell Austin. Kleschka is Kleschka. Put those together. You have my Instagram and yours.
My Instagram is, of course, at Captain America from softball, spelled Captain America from softball. So
easy to spell, just long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Anyways, I hope you guys will be tuned in with us. I hope your baseball team is doing good. Our Angels are doing okay.
Okay, yeah. That perfectly sums it up.
Yeah. That's the best I would describe it right now. Things haven't been amazing, but they also haven't been terrible. So
it's been
okay. And you guys, like I said, all that good stuff. So subscribe, like, share it with your friends and family, especially your dog. And we will see you Thursday. This episode will go up at 7 a.m. on Spotify and Apple. The video will go up 7 a.m. on YouTube. And that's weekly, baby. We will see you in episode 106.
Post WrestleMania.
Yes.